ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول كل بدعة ضلالة.
Can you give some advice in relation to bringing about unity of the hearts between sisters and how to bring about rectification? A general question which will receive a general answer. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it be of benefit. What I advise my sisters with is to remember the fadl bainakum, is to remember the virtues that Allah has bestowed between you, that Allah has made you Muslims, people of the Sunnah, people who follow the Quran and the Sunnah. Is there a better connection? Is there a more sublime connection that you both are upon the straight path, upon the truth, that you all are upon the truth? And it's not just for the sisters, for brothers. So is it not befitting that we pardon each other from shortcomings that may occur? We're not malaika. Some sisters may say something offensive to another sister. Naam, she gets advised to have good etiquette. And the Prophet ﷺ said, treat people with good manners. But you get advised. But as long as she's in the da'irah of Salafiyya, and she's Salafi, and she is Salafiyya, and he is Salafi, he's upon the Sunnah, forgive your brother, forgive your sister. Because that Salafiyya that you have is more precious, it's more sublime, it's more of a treasure than that feeling of revenge that you will feel afterwards. Because that feeling will go, and after it will be nadam. That feeling of revenge will go. The temporary pleasure will go. And that which will follow it is regret. But as for the love that you have for your brother and sister that is upon the Sunnah, and you make that take precedence over it all, the pleasure is long lasting. وَأَنْتَ مَا مَنْ تُحِبْ. That's the dalil. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned regarding the hereafter that you be with the ones who you love. You don't want to be with the Ahlul Sunnah, the people of Tawheed. Is it not worth preserving this precious unity that we have of Salafiyya, that you put the personal matters aside? That wallahi is frivolous in comparison. There's not anyone who can tell. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what's going on between you, but there's nothing that you can bring me that's going to outpower Tawheed. There's nothing that you can bring me that's going to outpower Sunnah. There's nothing that you can bring me that's going to outpower the manhaj as-sahih, the correct methodology in the midst of the dalalat that we see. So you have someone who's upon deviance. He massages your ego, marinates your mind, tells you how wonderful you are, makes you feel special, gives you a gift daily, or gives you that perfume that you wish you can wash off for I don't know how long. Smiles at you constantly. But he innovates in the deen of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. He's upon other than the way of Allah. Now my question is to you, my dear beloved brothers in front of me, and for my sisters to hear. That individual that is this state, if you feel inclined to him or inclined to her because they flatter you, what is the state of the heart? Can you tell me? Sick or no? It's sick. Why is it sick? Because the person's upon bid'ah. The person's upon disobedience, but yet you don't care. Just as long as a person elevates my ego, massages my ego. But then you have, I'm talking two extremes now. Then you have another brother or sister who is upon Salafiyah. They believe in Allah. They believe in the Messenger. They believe in the Malaika, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in Allah, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in the messengers, alayhi salatu wasalam, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in the Malaika, the books, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in the Quran, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in Qadr, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in the Sahaba, how they're supposed to believe. They believe in the hereafter, how they're supposed to believe. They follow and they love the inheritors of the prophets, how they're supposed to love them. They hate innovation and they love sunnah. They hate disobedience and they love obedience. But that sister or that brother offends you. Says a word that insults you. Knowingly or unknowingly. And you hate them. And the sight of them disgusts you. Tell me, what's the state of the heart? What's the state of the heart? No, let's be honest. I don't know who you are and what your problem is, but this is the state of the heart that is marid, sahihullah. If the sunnah is not enough for you, what's going to be enough for you? وَاعْتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. That's what Allah told us to do. Hold firm to the rope of Allah. Hold firm to the Quran and Sunnah. Because there is nothing more sublime to hold on to. So if the person is holding firm to the rope of Allah, jami'an, all of you, how is a personal issue going to make you leave it? There is something wrong with our manhaj. There is something wrong with our love of Allah and loving for Allah. So I don't know what the problems are. But my dear beloved brothers and sisters, you're Salafi. A Salafi does not hate another Salafi. A Salafi does not wage war against another Salafi. You're upon the Sunnah. Revise why you're upon the Sunnah. Revise and sit on your own in your room quietly and think to yourself, why am I Salafi? Why am I upon the Sunnah? And keep that in the forefront of your mind. Because then when you see another Salafi, that remains in the forefront of your mind. Shaykhana Rabi' al-Allama, Imam, حفظه الله ta'ala. As I've mentioned to some of our brothers in the past, so forgive me if I bore you with this again. An individual came to him from Oman. I was with the Shaykh, Hafidhullah. He knocked on in the car with the Shaykh, and he knocked on the window and was very eager to speak to Shaykh Rabi'. And he said, Shaykhana, kunta ta'am feek, kunta aqtabak. I used to speak about you, Shaykh Rabi'. I used to curse you. I used to backbite you. This person, clearly now, he's coming around. He's wanting to be upon the Sunnah. So Shaykh Rabi said to him, I forgive you and everyone else who does that. Is there any one of you sisters or any one of the brothers in front of me has been reviled like Shaykh Rabi? In his defense of the Sunnah, 6 decades or so, 7 decades, defending the Sunnah, ta'an. So much so they call those who follow the Sunnah now, in this day they call them, what do they call them? Madkhali. Which one of you has even got 10% of the tu'unat and oppression that the Shaykh has? And what did he say? I forgive you. Somebody came another qissa from Shaykh Rabi', Hafizahullah ta'ala. Again, some of our brothers who are close to me, you can go if you want. I don't want to bore you. Shaykhana, an individual came to him and said, Shaykh, there's somebody who has problems. because it is from the way of the student of knowledge, that if there are issues that some people have in their manhaj and so forth, you go to the ulama, you get advice on how to deal with it and so forth. So he came and he said to the Shaykh, I have some nuqat, some points that I want to give you regarding this individual. And then the Shaykh, he said, طيب جيبوا هات. And he goes, Shaykh, النقطة الأولى يطعنون فيك يا شيخنا. The first point is that they speak about you, Shaykh Rabi'. Don't listen to what people tell you about Shaykh Rabi'. If you want to know about Shaykh Rabi', ask Abu Khadija, ask Abu Hakim, Shaykh Abu Khadija, Shaykh Abu Hakim, ask Shaykh Abu Idris, ask Shaykh Abdullah, ask Shaykh Hassan al-Somali, ask Shaykh Abu Hassan Malik, ask the people who were with him. You see how Shaykh Rabi' really is. Don't listen to the tales and lies that people mention. The person came to Shaykh Rabi' and he said, يَطْعَنُونَ فِيك. They speak ill about you. Shaykh Rabi' said, forget that one. Next. He didn't want to hear it. Why? Because it was connected to his what? Person. It was him. And he didn't want any type of discrepancies in him dealing with the haqq properly. But some of us would be like, what did I say? And then you bring the other nuqat, عنده كذا وكذا. طيب, as for the first one, when did he say it? And then they'll bring, كذا يطعن في صحابة وعنده كذا في المساجد البدعة كذا. طيب, did he say anything else? Yeah, Ikhwan, we need to learn from our scholars. That's what they're there for. And this is how he was. And that's how Shaykh Ubaid is. These are the ulama of the sunnah. That's how they are. فَاعْرِفُوا فَضْلَهُمْ صراحة. We need to learn from it. The person's upon sunnah. The person, we don't care about, he done this to me. طبعا, no doubt. People have حقوق. فَأْتِ كُلِّ حَقٍ بِحَقٍ حَقًّا. There's a hadith of Salman al-Farsi radiyallahu an. Give every person their rights and so forth. No doubt. The legislation has come to preserve the honor. And the legislation has come to preserve the wealth. And the legislation has come to preserve life, preserve the intellect, preserve the religion. But the religion comes first. So the person is upon sunnah, no doubt you get your وَأَن تَعْفُوا أَقْرَبْ لِتَقْوَى. And if you forgive, it's more close to taqwa, righteousness. The person has oppressed you and taken your rights, no doubt the person gets their rights. However, I'm talking about what, Ikhwan? What am I talking about? What's our mawdu' today? We're talking about what? The qalb. طيب, get your rights. But don't allow the hatred and anger to overwhelm you. And then you cannot see sunnah and you cannot see tawheed. All you can see is haqqi, huquqi. All you can see is your rights. My advice to my sister, samihuna al-itala, my advice to my sisters specifically as they're questioned, and likewise my brothers, forgive your Salafi brother. Forgive him. It's a sign of the qalb is what, ikhwan? Salim. It's a sign of a good heart that the person is able to forgive their brother in place of the affair of the Sunnah, the Quran, the Salafiyya. That is a better stronghold. وَاعْتَسِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Hold firm to the rope of Allah. Visit each other. هَادُوا تَحَابُوا. Give each other gifts. Pass salams to your brother. Give salams to your sister. Ask how they are. Give them a call. Be humble. Have that heart that is humble. The heart that is khashi'. That tawadu, that humility. Man tawada'a lillah, rafa'ahu Allah. Whoever's humble for Allah, Allah will raise him. My sister, Allah will raise you. Give your sister a gift. Visit her when she's sick. Give her a call when she's in need. Comfort her. Your Salafi sister, because believe me, there isn't a better connection. There isn't a better connection between two than the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam.